In this video, I'm going to make a panther again, but this time I'm going to use a different image. And so notice it's a panther that's kind of face on. So let's just move it into the position that I want. Click OK. And zoom in on it a little bit. And of course we have to calibrate our canvas. So click on that image, right click, calibrate. And actually that was a pretty good size, but we're going to make it 2 inches again. Okay, zoom in on it. So the main difference between what we did last time and what we're going to do this time is we're still going to trace the outside of this panther, but after we've made the first layer, we're then going to trace around the head and then the nose and the teeth to make them extrude higher out. So let's start by doing the outline first. So sketch line. And just like before, use little tiny line segments. And you do need to go all the way around, including these claws. So you can see here I've already traced the outside of the panther, and now I'm going to continue tracing, this time from where I left off previously, but going around the head. And then after I finish the head, I'll go around that front arm, the claws, and then also the muzzle and the teeth. And then each of those layers will be a slightly different thickness. Just make sure that you do connect to the previous lines that you already drew. So now you can see I've basically traced around all of the parts of the panther that are going to be three-dimensional. I can go ahead and stop my sketch, and now I'm ready to start making it three-dimensional. So here's my completed panther. You can see I've traced around all of the outer edges as well as the inner edges of the head and the nose and the teeth. They don't have to be perfect, it's just to show where the edges are. The lines do all have to match up so that now when I hover over it, you can see that they are solid pieces. If some of them don't come up as pieces, it means that maybe that section isn't all connected, and then you have to go back and add line segments that are missing. So if you do need to go back and edit it, it's pretty easy. You just right-click, edit sketch, and you can add more lines as needed. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to modify it using press pull. So I'm going to select first the very back sections, the ones that are going to be the furthest away from the top, and I'm going to make these start at 0.15 inches. That way there's a little bit of, oops, something happened there. 0.15 inches. There you go. And then I'm going to now check on do press pull again and check on the next highest part and make that 0.25 so that it's a little bit higher than the other one. And you can already check, if you rotate it a little bit, that it's coming up higher than the previous piece. And then just keep going along with that. How about making, these are all about the same, including these little nails. Sometimes you have to rotate a little bit to make it easier to select. And up here you can see there's 7 selected, so it's however many pieces you select. I'm now going to make this, let's say, 0.35. And you can always go back and modify it. So if you don't like something, you can go back and change it later. Modify, press pull. Let's do guess actually the teeth and the eyes are going to be a little bit lower than that last piece was. So I'm going to make those only 0.3. And then finally I'll make the nose and the final claws the highest. Let's make that 0.4. Alright, so the question is, how does that look? That actually looks pretty decent. If you don't like any of the measurements, like actually from this side it does look a little awkward that these claws are so much taller than everybody else. So I think we're going to change that. And to change it, you just have to go to that last thing, edit the feature. Actually, it wasn't that one. The one before that. There you go, that one. Okay, so we're going to edit the feature, and we're going to simply deselect those claws. So when it says 7 selected, you can unselect them, and then they won't extrude along with that. And instead, we'll do a separate selection for that. So we're only going to make it slightly higher than the very first piece. So we'll press pull and select these last claws, and we'll make them only 0.2. Alright, so then there's our kind of three-dimensional bas-relief jaguar.